loyalty. Our clients have been buying products with us for decades, and generations of women have enjoyed Beauty by Janique products. So you see that, we're here for the long haul. Our longevity speaks for itself. So that takes care of the history of the company, and it's also a very ethical company with a great relationship with the DSA. And, that's something that you can talk to your potential recruits about when they're thinking about, is it worth it? Because, when they ask the question, if they feel that they're getting what they paid for, it's not just the product, but it's also the company, because selling the product is one thing, but, it's also it's product and the opportunity. When you're selling the opportunity, you're selling the company, and, of course, you are selling yourself. And you put all those factors together, the answer to that question is one big yes. One hint, though, in helping to communicate the product. How do you know the products? Well, the best way to know the product is to use the product. Become a product of the product. Makes it easier to talk about it, right? Because when you authentically communicate to the customers how great this product is, they feel reassured that, what you're telling them is from your own experience. Because remember, you're selling the product and yourself to reassure your audience, that potential customer, that potential recruit, that they are getting more than what they paid for. Phyllis.
Hey, good, Corey. All right. So therefore, tying that right in, how can you service your customers? A lot of people think, well, how can I do that? Well, like Corey said, you have to sell yourself first, then your product. And if your product is good, now the secret is stay in contact with your clients. In other words, don't sell once and drop them. Follow up. Make sure they're happy with it and what they're doing with it. And all of a sudden they know that you care about them, and they're going to tell others about it. So will your people be happy you are there for additional purchases? Sure. Is it a product that people will use, and then they'll be talking to others because they feel the benefit from owning the product and your service. So therefore, you're going to make it all work. Now, okay, Corey, now the question that I think is asked a lot is, do you know enough people? I don't know enough people. You hear that a lot. I don't know enough people. So, Corey, share that with us on that.
Yeah, the question of do I know enough people to start a business, again, is one of the most commonly asked questions, because before anybody invests any money, they're going to think first what they can bring to the table, how they can make this business run in the beginning, because early success kind of gives you that momentum. And the answer to that question is that, yes, you do know enough people to start a business. And a second answer to that question is that even if you didn't know a living soul, you can still have a business with Janique. And this is why. Because our business is all about networking. It's about incorporating this into your daily life, about talking to the person next to you while you're in line at the grocery store, right? About sparking up a conversation with that person who you think might be wearing a really cute top. It's all about the networking. So in knowing enough people to start a business, the goal is really to develop your contact for leads so that you can have revenue and business growth. So of course, a good way to start is with your friends and family. And if you don't have family in the area, you will most likely have some friends or acquaintances that you can kind of start with to develop your contact list. But again, most of your leads really will come from networking, from your daily life and, going to events, going to mixers, things like that. Because, you market yourself when you network. And remember, first impressions are important, but so are second, third, and fourth impressions. Why? Because most likely you're not going to probably get that booking or that telephone number or that email until after the fourth impression. Do you remember our telephone conference last October 26th title, Has Anybody Ever Said This to You? And what did you say? Well, that telephone conference talked about the importance of follow-up and how it will take numerous follow-ups to get that connection. So indeed, networking is very important. And remember, you are a professional. Just like a doctor, an attorney, a musician even, or even a real estate agent. You are a professional. But the difference with this business is that, it would be hard for a doctor to get a patient standing in line at the grocery store. But for someone in your business, it is so easy. Was it Vicky Fanska who met a recruit at a department store? I mean, that happens more often than not in our business. So while you are a professional, your profession makes it a lot easier to generate revenue just by incorporating it into your daily life. Of course, friends and relatives are a good start, but you don't necessarily need them. And now, again, I want to remind you about refresh your memory about our two past conferences last June. One was on June 15th, how to use the internet to promote your business. Again, a great episode if you want tips on networking. The second one on June 22nd was how networking can help you recruit. That episode, Gail Bogdanovich and Deborah Boss-DeVries give a great talk on how to find recruits and make sales and all that good stuff. So the answer is, even if you just knew one person, you can have the beginnings of a successful business if you just network.
Good. Very good, Corey. Okay. Now, another question they ask is, well, I have a full-time job. And, but think about this. Have you ever taken a class and been on a sports team while you were still work full-time? Well, so what if you plan which nights of the week you would work on your business, just like you've done for other activities you've been involved in? Could your own business give you some choices in the future? Would you maybe enjoy being your own boss after having worked for one all day? Could this offer you a new way to develop other skills? Could this be a fun way to get additional income after working in a more stressful job? So working full-time doesn't stop them. It just enables them, I think, better because they're better organized to do this. Now, some of the fears are normal and can be dealt with. In other words, fear of not knowing what to say, fear of not having the answers, fear of being pushy, fear they will say no. Let's just take it very quickly. Fear of not knowing what to say. A lot of people have that. It really doesn't make any difference what you say as long as you care about the person you are talking to. Say anything. Just keep the conversation going so she has time to tell you what she needs. Sales and recruiting isn't about having the right words. It's about having the right attitude. How about fear of not having all the answers? Well, we kind of answered that a little earlier. Enthusiasm. I am sold myself. New people share naturally because they are excited. They only stop sharing when they start worrying about knowing enough. You can always bring the questions to your upline or call your company. That's why they're there. How about fear of being pushy? The definition of pushy is excessively aggressive or forceful in dealing with others. Now, does that sound like you? Of course not. You're only in danger of being perceived as pushy if you are attempting to convince someone to join you against their will. In your recruiting vocabulary, convince is a dirty word. There's nothing pushy about offering someone the opportunity to choose something that'll make their life better. How about this one? Fear that they will say no, that two-letter word. It's curious how much power the word no has over us. It probably goes back to when we were 2 years old and tried to stick a paperclip into an outlet and someone said no to us in a stern voice. Well, we're adults now, so let's get rid of that. Let's not give any more power to that word. People often say no by default. It's easier than dealing with the consequences of saying yes. But when they say no, it usually means a need to know, K-N-O-W, rather than a complete lack of interest. Remember, we are not responsible for the answer. We are only responsible for giving someone the chance to choose. Okay, Corey, let's finish your portion up by saying, how about I don't know if I can get up in front of a group, Corey. What would you tell them?
Well, the thing is, all of us have this fear of talking in front of groups. I myself have done these telephone conferences, a handful of times. And,